Hey guys, it's Mariana and it's time for another discussion video. I haven't done one in a really long time, and today I wanted to talk to you about sequels, remakes, and voting with your dollars. This is a topic that has been on my mind pretty often, especially lately, and if you have been watching my videos for a while, you know that I tend to bring up originality and plot recycling in my reviews all the time. And before I get into the discussion, I just have a few disclaimers for you. First of all, this video is not me trying to tell you what to do or how to spend your money. If you enjoy a certain franchise or a certain topic and you love seeing movies and reading books that have to do with that, that is totally fine. This is why this is called entertainment, and if something is entertaining to you, then that's great. You're having fun at the movie theater, or you're having fun reading, or you're having fun watching a certain TV show. All I'm trying to do here is talk about something that has been on my mind lately, get a discussion going, and hopefully give you a perspective on this issue. Second of all, before somebody starts typing up a list of reboots and sequels that don't suck, of course exceptions happen, and a good example of that is The Fly. This is a really good remake. I love that movie. Aliens, which is a sequel to Alien, is one of my most favorite movies of all time, and even this year, Mad Max Fury Road is fantastic, and it is so far my favorite movie of the year, and it is definitely a sequel. But the fact that these exceptions exist and we call them exceptions reinforces the fact that most reboots and sequels are not as good as the originals or just flat out suck. Now, while this discussion mostly applies to movies and TV, you can also apply it to books, because recycled plots and formulaic writing is happening all the time, especially when it comes to young adult literature. And how many times have we seen a book that is originally meant to be a standalone novel turned into a series just because the standalone novel was a huge success? What finally made me want to make a video and talk about this, however, was something that I recently saw on Twitter. And by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, you should follow me. I'm Impression Blend. So what I saw on Twitter was that Jurassic World, of all movies, was back in theaters by popular demand, also known as "I think we can make more money showing this in theaters because we didn't make enough millions when it was in theaters originally." On top of that, I swear a week doesn't go by without me hearing about some new reboot or sequel being planned or being in production, and this just needs to stop. A lot of people whom I talk to, and a lot of you guys in the comments, are agreeing on the fact that we need more original content. We need more original stories. We want something new, and we wonder if Hollywood is out of ideas and like what is going on with this situation. But it all comes down to money, and we are kind of creating this problem. We have producers and studios that are just very hesitant to take a risk on an original story because they know that if they make another superhero movie or another Hunger Games movie or another Star Wars movie or a spin-off or another Jurassic World movie, they will make money and people will go see it because of nostalgia or because they saw the previous ones. And when it comes to new content, what happens is people are like, okay, that sounds good, I guess I'll check it out on Netflix or Redbox, and that does not help original content to be made. When it comes to books and publishers, there are also tons of books that are written following the same formula. How many dystopian young adult novels can we have that have essentially the same thing with a bit of a different flavor going on? And how many times are we going to see a standalone novel turned into a series when it wasn't even going to be a series to begin with? What also surprises me is how much slack is being cut when it comes to reboots and sequels lately. I don't know if it's because of nostalgia or what, but I hear this all the time.
It's just a popcorn flick. Just turn your brain off and enjoy it.
I didn't have to do that for the first movie to begin with, but now this is what I'm supposed to do to enjoy this movie.
Well, this is so much better than the other sequels.
Ergo, it is good and we should be enjoying it.
Don't compare it to the original. If you compare everything to this really great movie and you set your standard really high, you're never going to enjoy anything.
What? That's ridiculous. And then at the same time, we will have an original movie, an original story that has some problems in it because no movie is perfect, and people will just rip into it and hate it and be like, no, do not watch this. This makes no sense. Regardless of the fact that, something that is part of a franchise that doesn't make sense is totally okay because we all love the franchise. But back to my point, when we all go to see those hyped up movies that are big budget blockbusters and everybody's talking about them and they're just destined to make a lot of money, and we don't go to see something like Ex Machina or American Ultra or It Follows, then Hollywood gets the message of make less of the original stuff and make more of the same stuff because people keep seeing it. And when that is something that's happening, we can't really complain about the lack of original content because we're kind of creating our own problem. We can't complain about them ruining our childhood favorites and classics by making sequels and rebooting them, and then at the same time being the same people who go and watch these things. Guys, what I'm trying to have you consider here is if you want new original content, if you want new stories being told in new ways, you have to think about voting with your dollar, because at the end of the day, the only language that studios and producers and publishers will understand is how much money they can make off this, because that is how they keep making stuff. If we don't go see it, they're not going to make it. So in the spirit of supporting things that aren't sequels and reboots and that perhaps are underrated and flew under everybody's radar because we were too busy watching the new Marvel movie, I want us to have some recommendations in the comments below. I would like you to leave a book and or movie that you think needs more recognition. Personally, I'm going to give 3 recommendations to you guys, 2 movies and the book, and they're not super obscure. Like, I'm sure you've heard of these at least, but I know not that many people saw or read these things, and I think a lot of people enjoy them. The first movie is The Grey, starring Liam Neeson. If you love survival thrillers, you need to watch this movie. Basically, the premise here is there's a small plane that crashes in the Alaskan wilderness, and the people who survive the plane crash have to kind of continue surviving because Alaskan wilderness is not the friendliest place to be, and it's cold, and there are also wolves involved. So if you are a fan of thrillers that keep you on the edge of your seat, you need to see The Grey. Side note, do not watch the trailer for this because it is extremely spoilery to the point where it shows you some of the last shots of the movie, so just don't. The second movie that I want to recommend is Rush, and this is a Ron Howard film starring Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl. Both of them are fantastic in this movie, and I never hear anybody talk about it. It is really, really good. I think people get turned off this movie because it is about the rivalry of 2 Formula One drivers, and people think, oh, if I don't care about Formula One racing, then I'm not going to care about this movie. You are so wrong. This is such an inspiring story. It is amazing. Just trust me on this one. You need to see it. It is really good. The soundtrack is amazing. The acting is amazing, and it is just a story of human spirit. It is great. Watch it. And the book that I want to talk about is one that I've seen people who review books discuss and really like, but outside BookTube, I have never seen anyone talk about this book, and this is something you should definitely check out. This is Forgive Me, Leonard, Peacock by Matthew Quick. This is the same author who wrote Silver Linings Playbook, and this has a pretty unique plot. It's about a guy in high school who on his birthday decides that he's going to bring a gun to school, shoot his best friend, and then shoot himself. This sounds really dark and depressing, and while this does have heavier parts, it also is so much more than that, and it gives you so much to think about, just about life and how people view each other and all of that. I highly, highly recommend you checking out this book. It's pretty short. It's not going to take too much of your time, and I guarantee you're going to take something out of this book that is going to make you see things differently. definitely check this one out. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave your recommendations in the comments below for books and movies and maybe TV shows that you think are underrated. And don't forget to let me know what you think about this whole sequel reboot situation that is going on in Hollywood that, in my opinion, needs to stop. I would love to know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.